Hey guys, welcome to my channel, to Devine Vibes, and definitely we are the vibes. Um, I am very grateful on this beautiful night. I'm sitting outside in my truck. It is very, very beautiful out here tonight. It's not too cold, it's just right. And tonight, I wanted to talk about healing because it is healing time, y'all. We got to get on it. Um, Basically, talking about what I had to go through and the benefits of healing um, as I started my healing journey. Becoming one with self, with the divine, with my ancestors, really tapping into me because that's definitely a place where going within into the darkness because that's what's happening. A lot of us are dealing with trauma in the inside of us and we don't know how to deal with it. A lot of us is working, trying to keep the bills paid, take care of the kids, um, keeping things basically above water. I want to speak about this because when you have to go within, it's definitely a place where no man has gone. So they say, may the force be with you. And that means just that, may the force be with you. Because that force is definitely something that you can't lie to. You have to be very honest. And lots of times we want to cover up our pain and things that we have suppressed through, makeup, you know, flashy things, cars, clothes. But deep down inside, we hurting. And lots of times we don't have the time to heal. I remember when I wanted to heal, you know, but I couldn't because I had my children, so it'd be nights that I would cry, because I knew that I was destined for something way more greater than what I was doing. And don't get me wrong, what I was doing, I really enjoyed it and loved it. But as I went through my near-death experience, where I did die and came back, was in 2022, April the 29th to be exact. I went through something very, very, very traumatic. And I didn't know how I was going to get through it. I just knew that I wanted something different with my life because I knew that for them to keep me alive, for the divine, and seeing my ancestors, I can't say that I've seen pearly white gates, streets paved of gold, which I do know what that means spiritually, but what others have been taught, that's not what I saw. What I saw was my mom and them, you know, sitting on my bed, my brother. And one thing about the spiritual realm, for some reason, we don't really see their face. I think we put a face to it because we know it's them. I can't really explain it. And I know some of y'all might can feel me on this. You can't explain what you're really seeing. You just know that's who that person is. And all I can say is when I saw my ancestors, when they came forward, and when I say ancestors, I'm speaking about all the versions of me that came forth. I can't explain it to y'all. But well, I will in another video. I will really tap into, because we are our own ancestors, and there's different versions of us that we once was in different past lives, and the moment that I saw them, we're gonna talk about that, because it's definitely a beautiful story, and that's my testimony. So I that will be another video. But part of my healing journey, was I wanted to become the best version of myself, which means I had to make an agreement, not only with myself, my higher self, but with the divine, with the cells in my body, with my heart, my lungs, my kidneys, because what we don't realize is when we have all that pain bottled up inside of us, what happens is we put a strain on our body. Your cells, especially your nervous system, your heart, your kidneys, your brain, your throat, because you can't really speak how you want because you're holding it all in. And when it does come out, it's not coming out the way it's supposed to, because what's coming out is a lot of hurt and pain. For me, like I said, we're going to tap into that, what happened to me. Excuse me. Because it's my testimony. When you choose to heal, you are really, really, really letting the divine know that you want to become one with it. The divine is not communicating with you on no higher level when you're on a low level. And that's facts. We say we hear the divine, this, and that, but I'm going to tell you, this is my experience. I had to go in, I had to really, truly go within myself. At this time that I started my healing journey, well, I actually started it before then, because I had to do a ritual, to get my spirit ready for healing. And don't get all scary and stuff when you hear ritual, because we do rituals every day. We wash our behinds, we brush our teeth, we put clean clothes on, we clean our house, we wash our dishes, we fold our clothes. All those are rituals. So it was a certain thing I had to do for my spirit, to get it ready for healing, because I knew I needed to heal. When you heal, and part of healing is not becoming the victim. When you are healing, you cannot in no way act like you're a victim, because you're not a victim, you're victorious in all ways. And it also shows how brave you are, because that's a brave moment to truly, truly, truly go within and heal. Is truly a brave moment. Going within yourself is like going into the darkness, the void, as they call it. And it's definitely something that it's a place where I know some people don't even want to look at it. They don't want to touch it. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to see it. They don't even want to tap into it because it's a lot of pain. I know when I was healing, you know, I made an agreement that I was going to do this thing. And I could feel my whole spiritual team with me. Like, yeah, she's going to do it. You know, my cells is like, oh my God, she's getting ready to do it. You know? And at this time, I was sleeping in my car. I chose, I lost my place. Um, I really don't like to use the word lost because I had to let it go. A lot had happened in that apartment, and I made the decision that I was going to, you know, take my children where they needed to go, took them to their father. My baby boy, he went to his godmom. Other, saying the other ones are grown. I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't. And I said, you know what? I didn't even take all my stuff with me. A lot of my crafting and things that I do, I took the main things with me. And I can feel and I see visions, of how the divine speaks is, and you see things. They ain't really actual words. And it was almost like, leave it. I want to bless you with more than you can ever imagine. So I did whatever didn't fit in my car. And at that time, I had a 2014 or 2015 Chevy Cruze, and whatever didn't fit in my trunk, I didn't take it. Which I really didn't take a lot of things. I had really started all the way over, and I was willing to let it all go, just so I can go on this, healing journey. And even with sleeping in my car, I kept my car clean. I said, okay, if I'm going to sleep out here, if this is where I'm going to be, I got to figure out how I'm going to have somewhere to wash my behind. So I got me a Planet Fitness account. And that's where I took my showers at. I can go in there 3 times a day, nice hot shower, and I can go in there and exercise, which I really didn't. Now, most of the time I walked on the beach. That's how I lost a lot of my weight. And it was times, I ain't gonna lie, I cried, because of what had happened. I didn't know how to handle it at the time, but I knew that I had to do this. Good God Almighty. When we dealing with that pain, we look at everybody as, oh, look at them, they're doing this. Or somebody's trying to hurt me again. And really, no one's really hurting you or trying to hurt you. They really don't want to hurt you. They're hurting too. So, part of healing, helps you to see different, hear different, feel different. When you look at people and they do things to you, you know that they have some work to do inside of them. So you have more, you give them grace. You give them understanding, patience, piety, love. And I'm a very lovable being. I am love all day. Because what the divine wants from you The divine wants you to be honest. It already knows what happened and what's going on. What it wants is for you to open your mouth. It wants you to give it to him. Give it. So you pour in. And the crazy thing about it was I didn't know what the heck I was gonna got doggone going to, because I said it's some things I suppressed for so long. I don't know what it turned into. Lots of times we have anxiety and all kind of stuff going on, and that's why of those traumas. We get in a relationship, that don't work out, we come out of it. Guess what? We done suppressed that one, and now we're back in another one. That one doesn't work out, we're back in another one. So we're suppressing things on top of things on top of things. And in the spirit realm, you're inside, you know what I'm saying? They saying, listen, hey, wait a minute. Like, how much stuff you gonna keep putting in here? You ain't even dealt with the stuff from when you know, from when you was a child, and from 10 years ago. Like, wait a minute, it's getting a little crampy in here. Bag lady, Erica Badu, shout out. Can't go nowhere because you're carrying too much bags. It's kind of like the movie Us. And that means exactly that, us. You gonna deal with me. You left me behind. You know, you're out here living your best life, and inside I'm suffering. I ain't growing nothing. But you are. Your babies are pretty, mine's is ugly. You going on your vacations and doing all your things, and we ain't vacationing properly at all up in here. You know, she meant what she said. You gonna deal with me. And you know, lots of time we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to go in there. So it's like, oh, you know, what the hell? It's like, for me, I said, I don't know what the heck I'm going to run into. But I let the divine be able to comfort me in this time of healing. Because when you give it all to the divine, you just keep it moving. You don't worry about it. You just talk it out. And it wasn't easy. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like it was a walk in the park. My God, it was not a walk in the park. God had to separate me from everybody. It's a scripture in the Bible that speaks how God will put a door, he'll put a wall up on your behind. And that's basically what it has done to a lot of people, put a wall up. Because one thing with the divine and your higher self ain't dealing with you or sitting in there with you with all that darkness and filth and whatever else. Because a lot of us is dirty as I don't know what out here. So my main thing, you know, when I was on my healing journey, is I couldn't play the victim. I had to look at everything. Because once you start tapping into the inside of you, you start, because that's a whole nother realm. That's a whole nother realm. Because we are multi-dimensional beings. We can go within ourselves and go to a whole nother realm. And that's what you did every time you suppress something. You create a whole nother dimension going inside of you. So it's almost like the stars are out of alignment. You're out of alignment. How are you going to deal with that? You know, I remember, I was smoking weed one day in my car because I stayed to myself a lot. And shout out, to my friend Country. He really, helped me to see some things because when we are when we healing and we have decided, and I mean really decide to heal, sometimes that ego can come in. I'm talking about the ego side that don't want you to look at yourself. All of us have to look at ourselves because we wasn't so kind to ourselves. Whether you be a stripper or whoever you choose to be, when you start healing and you start looking at the things, because you can suppress the smallest thing and it's sitting there and it's growing. I said to myself, I don't know what the heck I'm getting ready to run into. Here go these doors, these portals, doorways. And the main thing that I had to do, I had to be so honest with that spirit. Because one thing that I could tell you about marijuana, it's going to tell you some stuff that you need to know, and that's spirit speaking. So the emotions started coming on, you know. And I said, I'm going to use this time and I'm going to talk to the divine. I started talking, flashes of my childhood, flashes of different things I went through throughout my teenage years, then adulthood. I mean, it was like back to back to back. And I had to talk it out. I had to cry it out. I had to say what I had to say. And I promise you, we have done some things that ain't really been the best of things. And you got to speak it out your mouth to that spirit. You have to be honest during this whole process. And you have to also submit, I would say, surrender. Don't try to control it, because we like to control things. Don't try to control it. Let the tears come. And for you men, our brothers out there, y'all gotta heal too. Y'all been through some things as well. Childhood trauma, women trauma, friends trauma, our own traumas. Because we're doing things to ourselves that the things that we're doing to ourselves is showing that we didn't have self-love. My biggest thing was being a people pleaser. I didn't know I was being a people pleaser. God had to show me that too. This is why this happened. This is why that happened. And I had to look at myself as well. And I had to be honest. This is why I was doing this. I cried so much. I cried so much. It's a lot of crying. And it's time consuming. So you got to make sure that you got time to do this, because it's time consuming. I remember one time I cried for 3 days on one door that I opened. Kept crying. And as you start opening up those doorways, bloop, there go a hose going through the darkness, and light can appear now. And as the more you keep opening up those doors and dealing with those traumas, disappointments, hurts, pains, that light come through. And people going to notice it too, because you don't see your light, but others do. Another thing with healing, you got to deal with your karmic cycle. And I know a lot of people think, oh, karma. Yeah, you got to deal with it. And not only deal with it, but understand. That's just the best thing ever, to deal with your karma. And most of us are not hurting people intentionally. It's not like we're going out here hurting people intentionally. But a lot of things that we thought was right was wrong. This is another thing that you learn out this process. You think you're doing something right, but it was wrong. And knowing that, you start digging again. It was almost like I had to go in my guts. I had to go in my guts, not only just in my guts, but I had to go so deep inside of me. Oh my God, I cried so much one time my chest started hurting. I was crying so much. I'm talking about boo-hoo crying in my car, sleeping in my car. But the thing is that it was me and God. That's it. And I didn't care, to be honest, because I wanted to heal. And whatever way that I was going to do it, that's exactly how I was going to do it. I kept my car clean, my clothes clean. I was clean. I had this Indian blanket I got from Five and Below. Warm as I don't know what, because when I first started sleeping in my car, it was nice outside. Then November, December started coming around, a little nippy. I was in my car last year. I remember. No, was it last year? Yeah, last year. I remember around what? I want to say February. It was about 12 degrees outside. But I was warm. I had my fluffy socks and everything. Hand warmers. Had my long johns. Heat. And shout out to Diane, because she really stuck in there with me. She tried her best to help me out as best way as she can, but God didn't want me to really be around nobody. So most of the time I was in my car, or I was at my store, or I was at the beach, before it got cold. Even on the cold days, I would go sit there and watch the water in my car. I used to go to the airport, watch the planes. I basically kind of slept anywhere I wanted to sleep. And it made me so free. Being able to sit back and watch all the time travelers go. Everybody in a rush to get where, you know. Another thing about healing, what it does is it help you to understand and understand people when they make mistakes. When they make those mistakes, you're not throwing them away and saying F them and all this stuff. You got to look at them and tell. You'll be able to know who needs to heal and who don't, or who's working on it and who ain't. And you still love them. You still show them grace. In the movie Us, and if you really paid attention to it, she always was going back to her childhood. That little theme park thing that she walked into said, find yourself. She left her there. Because you got to remember, they switch places. Hmm? She came out and the self stayed. The shadow. It's crazy. But you want to be able to heal so you can have that relationship with the divine all the way. Going within, which is so beautiful, because it's really not nothing else on the outside of yourself. If anything is on the outside of you, shout out the country, it's bull crap. And lots of times we're dealing with a lot of things on the outside of ourselves because we hear these things. We hear, don't do this, don't do that. Now, if you done got to the red flags, the stop sign, caution, you went too far. Most people will show you who they are. No, it really take long. You just really pay attention to them. You could tell if this is what I want to be around. Mm-mm. You know, because we so busy out here trying to heal people. Oh, I see so much potential in them. And it's not about what you see, it's about what they see. We poured so much energy into people. You know, we have to give now, we got to give all that back to ourselves. All those beautiful, beautiful things you were saying to other people. Now you got to say it to yourself. I do it all the time. I tell myself how proud I am because throughout this whole thing, I didn't become bitter. If anything, it actually made me love more. You know, I was sent here to this earth full of love, joy. I remember looking at my picture when I was younger. And I remember telling God, I said, you know, there was nothing wrong with me. I was just fine. Just the way I was. I was just fine. I was just fine. I was okay. And I kept telling that to the divine. I was just fine. I was okay. I was just fine. Why did that have to happen to me? Because, you know, when we get molested when we're young, you know, because my mom, I love you, mama. She, you know, when I finally told her, you know, I didn't know what she did about it. I found out now, you know, as I got older. But my mom will always tell me to forgive them. You know, you gotta forgive them, you gotta love them, you gotta forgive them. I wasn't taught how to actually heal. So I thought that it was okay for people to do things to me and all I had to do was forgive them. But one thing that I started realizing is that even when you sit there and you forgive them, now they come with the buffoonery. The words, actions is a little bit different. They say sorry, but the sorry don't, it don't add up to the actions that they, you know. Because I remember, you know, I remember growing up, I was just the beautiful light bulb. My daddy called me strawberry. You know, I was so nosy. Knowing daggone well I ain't know how to read. I'm in everything. I'm opening up people Christmas gifts because it looked like it could be mine. So I'm opening it up. Now I got popped for it. Mama like, why is you opening up people's stuff? I told you not to touch it. Da 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 da. Whatever. So I had to look back at who I was when I was young. All I kept saying was I was just fine. You know, it's like when I had to talk to God about that thing, man, I'm telling you, I think that's the part that hurt me so much. Because it put me in a bubble. You know, for those of us that got molested, it puts you in a bubble. Not only that, but as you're getting older, you don't know why you're having these feelings. You think it's okay. Oh, the boy said you're cute. Oh, okay. You know, I didn't treat myself so well, and I had to go to God with that. And what I mean by that is always giving my time to people. This is one thing about healing you're going to realize as well. Your time. Where you invest your time. The energies that you don't want to deal with no more. And when that energy come around you, hey, whatever energy you put back in, you put into it, you call your energy back from all people, places, and things. Any type of energy, return it back to the sender in peace. I always do that because I know my energy. And so when I'm feeling something, I know it ain't mine. Because I don't think like that now. But before, you know, it took a lot out of me. It took a lot, you know, for me to go through this healing process. Because ego going to come in and going to tell you, oh my God, somebody's hurting us. I have to say, wait a minute now. Hold up. No one's hurting me. We got to go through this. And I'm going to tell you something. There's going to be a lot of talking to yourself and encouraging yourself and saying, listen, I'm going to do this. You're not going to stop me from doing this. It's very uncomfortable and it's very, very, very painful. But I promise you, you don't want to be like Us, the movie. Because you eventually going to have to deal with you. No matter how you try to put it, how you try to do it, you're going to have to deal with you. They're not playing. You're going to deal with you. You can, you know, she killed her, but what she was really killing, you know, is a version of herself that she didn't want no more. She didn't want to be anymore, which is full of hurt and pain and trauma. And as you can tell, we are all connected. That's why she had the little people and everybody connected, tethered together, because we're all connected. And yes, you are tethered to your shadow. So that's why it's so important. Not only that, but you want to be able to have that relationship with the divine and your higher self. Your higher self ain't dealing with you with all that mess. It's just not going to happen. And then now the Christ consciousness can come through. So you can get to your higher level. And you're not working on the lower levels no more. It's a lot with this body. And we're going to go into it. And we're going to talk about it. Because I said, I know they didn't keep me alive for nothing. I have a lot of love in my heart. Even after everything that happened, I still have love. Even more love. I'm living, breathing the breath of life. Instead of getting upset, I'm sitting there and I'm breathing. Healing opens up. I mean, you got to think about it, because your cells, everybody's going through this thing with you. You're not alone. You can't think that you're going through this all by yourself. Oh, I'm going through. No, your cells is going through it too. Your nervous system is going through it. Your heart going through it. Your kidneys going through it. Your liver going through it. Your lungs going through it. Every part of you, your legs, your knees, your feet, your hands, your ears, your eyes, your spinal cord. Listen, this thing is deep. Every part of you is going through that trauma. Because we like to separate our trauma, but if you knew what you was, what you are, then you'll know everything works together. Nothing is separate. Nothing. And you know we wasn't seeking first the kingdom of God. So all of his righteousness will be added unto us. We're seeking everything on the outside of ourselves. And that's why we get hurt. I'm always trying to help somebody. I was always trying to help somebody. And shout out to T, always telling me, stop trying to be Captain Save a Hole. You can't save everybody, MAGA. You can't. But we want to go out here and save the world. And guess what? They ain't asked you nothing. You offered. That's people pleasing. If they don't ask, you don't offer. If they ask and you can do it, then yeah, do it. But if they don't ask you, please do not offer. Unless you want to. But I wouldn't, if you ain't got to that level yet. Because the one thing when you do things for people, you can't be expecting anything back. You have to have pure intentions. No intentions at all. I'm helping you because I want to help you. And that was me. But the divine had to show me, even though you did this, you never paid attention to the many a times where people showed you that they didn't care that you helped them. And you're going to do it again? So during this process, what you're doing is you are learning from your mistakes. The more and more you tap in, you are learning from your mistakes. That's what all this healing is about. Now you can start lining your chakras. Uh-oh. I feel a Christ coming on. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, that spirit is not a joke. That's the creator inside of you. You think you're going to lie to the creator? You can't lie to that creator. Because the more I heal, you heal. The more you heal, they heal. The more they heal, the others heal. So as we heal, we're healing each other. It's an agreement. You know, I can truly say for myself, I'm proud of me. I'm so proud of me. Because after everything that I encountered and went through, I could promise you, though, I went through the fire, but I don't smell like the smoke. And I went through some things. Don't worry, I'm going to do a video. We're going to tap in. Because I got plenty of more that we're going to be talking about. To kind of help y'all along your journey as well. I knew this was something I had needed to do. And now that I did it, good God Almighty, it feels so good. I get up, I'm making sure that I'm meeting up with Almond in the morning as it comes around or shows this beautiful, beautiful light, which is our outside self. That beautiful light. You know, for me healing, I don't feel the need to want to go, and when people do things, to go do something back to them. Because as you heal, you like I said, you feel different. You think different, and you hear things different. You don't hear it as I'ma hurt you or I hate you. No, it's you hate yourself. You're hurting, you know. And you don't gotta deal with people, you know, that's on that frequency. What you can do is understand, show them mercy. And if you decide you don't want to talk to them, then don't talk to them. But we have to get to a level of understanding where we know healing. And it's a lot of work. Yes, it is. It's a lot of pain. My God, it is. But it's like a spiritual journey when you heal. And you got to be alone. You have to isolate. Stop trying to be around people when you're healing. No. Isolate. You don't need to be around nobody. When God put me off, then it was just me and the Devine. I tapped into some places inside of me. I didn't know existed. I said, oh my God, how long have you been sitting here? Because the longer it sits, the more pain it is. The more hurt it is. The more tears come. But I promise you, you gotta cry. That's one thing about healing is grieving. You gotta grieve. And that's why it's important that you have to isolate. Because you don't want to start picking up on everybody's energies, because you got to think about it. As you start to heal, now you are an open portal. I call them moths. When they start seeing that light, they just got to come to you, got to touch you. I fought hard for this light. And I don't let nobody get close to it unless my spiritual team, as I call it, my counsel, tells me it's okay to do that. Other than that, I'm white now, clean, and don't touch me. Now, don't get me wrong. I did slip off, during this process. But the Devine snipped that and put me right back into place. All right, let's go. All right, now we can resume. But I'm proud of myself, and you're going to be proud of yourself. You're going to be like, I really thought I couldn't do it, and I did it. I won't say that I didn't think that I could do it. I think because I had already got my spirit ready for healing. That's the most important thing, is making sure you get your spirit ready for healing. And as you get your spirit ready for healing, you already know it's going down. Because it's like Star Wars. You're going deep in you. Places inside of you didn't even know exist. Then you start seeing potentials like, dang, I didn't know you was in there. You start tapping in. Oh, what the heck you came from? I'm like, oh my God, here's another door. And then things start coming, and your karma. I want to explain that too, so you don't, get on, start thinking that you're just such a bad person. No, the way that we feel inside, guess what? We manifest that into a whole nother body. That's your karma. And what people do to you, they got to deal with their stuff too. See, I had to look at it differently. Anything that's coming towards you and it's out of order, that means you got to check yourself. Something ain't right. Wait a minute. Let me check me. Check me. Because if this is what's in front of me, then that's telling me that I need to check myself. Because wait a minute, this is manifesting. I know this is not what I'm spiritually, sending out. And the more that you cleanse, that's another thing, part of this healing process. You gotta stay cleansed. Because in this process, people are going to, they're going to attack you. I'm trying to tell you, attack spiritually. Because see, healing, people don't want you to do no healing. If you don't do your healing, they get to keep doing what they're doing to you. Why? Because it's inside of you, and all you're going to do is keep manifesting it all over again. But if you heal those parts of you, if you dig deep and you start healing those things, you'll notice they don't come to you no more. So, then you got to go back and see if there's any residue left behind. If this is still coming, then maybe I need to check myself. Hold up. Because I go inside, I be like, wait a minute, hold up. Why are we feeling like this? What's wrong? Hold up. Yeah. And when you can do that, then you change in cycles. You're breaking generational curses, my God. People don't get it. And I'm going to break that down because I need for y'all to understand the power of healing. Because you're not just healing yourself, you're healing your whole bloodline. You're healing your ancestors. You're healing you. Do not act the victim. You are victorious. Deal with your karmic cycle. I said, you know what, to be in this day and time, to be able to deal with my karmic cycle, that's a beautiful thing. Huh? That means I get to clean up some more stuff. I get to really what? Yeah, let's clean it up. I'm all for it. Yo, let me let you know, I know definitely I'm from a warrior bloodline. Ancient. Because I'm a whole warrior. I mean, I never quit this whole time. And I was not on social media. I know people didn't see me posting. I wasn't posting no new pieces. I wasn't posting anything. Then a couple of times I post this and post that, but then there came a time I was in isolation again. And take your time. You ain't got to be on nobody else's time frame. Because I'm on time. Yeah, I'm on time. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. You got to go inside. You got to tap in and be honest. I don't care if you got to cuss. That spirit want to hear you say. And when you do it, I promise you, it's like gold at the end of the rainbow. If y'all understand what that means, you go through all your chakra levels. Because that heart's something serious. Can you truly love people like you love yourself? And that's a question to ask, because if you don't love yourself, how can you love people? Hmm. Hmm. It's a lot of aligning. It's a lot of crying. It's a lot of being honest with yourself. That's why you got to be isolated, because the things that you're going to say out your mouth is just between you and God. Healing is not for everybody to be in your face. People don't need to know what you're talking to God about. One thing about it, God ain't going to tell what you say. And then it'll help you say, hey, I can speak these things out now. I went through that. And you understand people more. Well, I haven't done things to that extent, but I've done some things. So I give people a lot of grace. Even in this moment where they still trying to do stuff, I just give them grace. Because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they do. They don't. A healed person, we can see that. And we truly understand people. Now, in this process, some people you are going to have to let go. And you can cry about that too, because I did, because I let people go. When I really looked at the depth of it, and then I see that these people aren't changing, I let them go. In peace. In peace. So, I would definitely encourage you to, try to start your healing journey. Make that agreement with yourself. Get your spirit ready for healing. So you don't say, I don't want to do this, I'm turning back around. No. Keep going. Don't stop. It's a lot of time, and it's a process. But I promise you, instead of you being in your south node, you'll be heading toward your north. Your north node. To enlightenment. To the light. You'll be fine. I believe in you. You can do it. You really can do it. Open your heart up. Open your spirit up for healing. Yes, it's pain. Yes, trust me, it's pain and it's not easy. But if you really want it, I will tell you to do it. Or you're going to be coming back here again. Repeating the same cycle. Look, my spirit, listen. My spirit listen, chick, we getting this done this go round. I don't want to come back. Because they say physical death is completion. When you have done what you're supposed to do on this planet and serve your purpose, you're gone. People don't understand that. There's no such thing as people died at a young age. No, they serve their purpose. And I want to serve mine. So healing. So I can understand. And I understand things a lot more now. My heart ain't racing. I ain't all worried about what people got to say. I don't care what people say. Because only God can judge me now. That's it. The earth, I done passed that level. That's the crazy part about it. I don't worry about it. I don't care what people say. Because this healing that I did, good God Almighty, I fought for this light. I went to hell in the fire. And I don't smell like the smoke. I'm trying to tell you. You'll hear my story. I'm going to put it up. April 29th this year, make 2 years. So I can tell you my testimony. I can't hold it in. Because God is good and it's going to help a lot of other people. So start your healing journey. Take your time with yourself. Be patient with yourself during this time. Don't think everything going to happen overnight, because it's definitely not. Take your time with yourself. You can do it. I believe in you. If this message resonated with you and you know someone that probably needs to hear this, share the video, comment, subscribe, so others can hear what they need to hear at the time they need to hear it. You know, I appreciate you all listening. Thank you so much. And we will definitely meet up again. All right? Peace.